Have you ever read a story so vividly that the places in the book felt just as real as your own hometown?
Mm,
Like you could almost step right into those streets or those forests. There's this kind of magic, isn't there? How stories become places we feel we've already visited.
definitely.
So today, we're embarking on a really unique journey. It's a sort of literary pilgrimage following a listener's personal notes and experiences. We're exploring what happens when these worlds we read about actually come to life.
That's right. Our mission today really is to unpack how the books that shaped our listeners' childhood and then their adulthood, how they guided real-world travels.
Okay.
And we'll see how these experiences transform their understanding of the stories, yes, but also of themselves. It's this powerful, sometimes really surprising intersection of literature and, lived reality.
Our listener's journey kicks off with a pretty amazing connection.
Yeah.
Imagine being, 9 years old, reading Little Lord
I think it's
Fauntleroy
Tyson Burnett, yeah.
and picturing 4th of July fireworks over New York City. Then, flash forward 30 years. She's 39.
Mm-hmm.
And she's actually seeing them in New York. That's where this deep dive really begins.
It's quite something how that childhood image just popped into reality. Our listener, her roommates actually didn't want to go, but she went anyway, alone. Watched the fireworks over the Hudson River.
Yeah.
And she instantly remembered Little Lord Fauntleroy from second grade. That book was her first introduction to Independence Day. The American boy Cedric talks with Mr. Hobbs, the grocer.
Right.
And Mr. Hobbs tells him all about the American Revolution, even quotes the Declaration of Independence. It's this amazing link between, early curiosity and a real adult moment.
And here's where it gets really interesting visually. Those fireworks, for her, they vividly brought to mind Whistler's painting. Nocturne in black and gold, the falling rocket.
Ah, yeah. That's not your typical celebratory fireworks image, is it? It's more atmospheric, melancholy almost.
Exactly. Whistler's night scenes were like that. This one shows fireworks over London, but with this haunting, sort of ephemeral quality. So for our listener who is actually getting ready to leave New York after a year,
Oh, okay.
it felt like a small gift from the city, a beautiful personal end to that childhood dream. It just shows how an image, once it's in your head, can stick around for decades.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from the big city, New York, our listener's journey then takes us somewhere completely different. A childhood classic, Anne of Green
Oh,
Gables.
everyone knows Anne.
Right. She dreamed of visiting Prince Edward Island since she was 9. She really identified with Anne Shirley, called her a crystallization of imagination. Believed Anne taught her how to use imagination to get through tough times.
And she made that dream happen. Flew to PEI with her cousin, Jamie. Also a big Anne fan, apparently.
Nice.
What's interesting, though, is they had different Anne experiences growing up. Our listener knew the Japanese anime version.
Oh, yeah, the one Miyazaki worked on the scene settings for.
That's the one. Really detailed. But Jamie knew Anne from the Megan Follows TV series from the 90s, the one popular in the U.S.
Right, I remember that one too.
So it shows how these stories connect people, even through different versions, different cultures.
So, arriving on PEI,
Yeah.
what hit her first?
The red soil. Apparently it's really strikingly red, which immediately made her think of Anne asking Matthew, and what does make the roads red? Perfect. And she also saw the white way of delight just covered in apple blossoms, stepping right into the book.
Amazing. And Green Gables itself?
Yeah, they visited the Green Gables house. It was built back in the 19th century. It wasn't L.M. Montgomery's house, but her cousins lived there, David Jr. McNeil and his sister Margaret.
Okay, so she visited often.
Right. And now the inside is decorated exactly like the book describes. Anne's bedroom, okay, not an attic room like in the book, but it had the green curtains, the puff-sleeved brown dress,
The iconic dress.
even the geranium in the kitchen window named Bonnie, just like Anne called it.
But that brings up something, well, quite thought-provoking, doesn't it? The difference between the author and the character.
Oh, definitely. Ellen Montgomery. She wrote Anne when she was 34, living with her grandmother, putting off her own marriage to care for her.
That's tough.
And her later life was really difficult, marked by depression. There's that heartbreaking diary entry. Since then, my life is hell, hell, hell. And it's believed she died by suicide.
Such a stark contrast to Anne's relentless optimism.
It really is. And that contrast highlights something profound, I think. The power of stories to give us hope, to offer solace. Our listener found she could separate the two Montgomery's tragedy and Anne's spirit, especially after seeing the Anne and Gilbert musical there.
Right.
And seeing the Lake of Shining Waters, which was based on Campbell's Pond, just reinforced Anne's amazing imagination for her. It's like the art really does live on, separate from the artist's struggles.
It's just so powerful how actually going there, the physical travel, made those book images solid for her, turning, as she said, 2D worlds into 3D existence.
Yeah, that physical connection really deepens things.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, the journey then took her to Acadia National Park, inspired by Longfellow's poem Evangeline.
Ah, yes. The forest primeval and that long, sad love story.
So was the park like the poem, melancholy?
Well, parts of it. It was misty one day, which definitely fit the mood, but other days. The ocean was this incredible, energetic blue, apparently due to iron-rich rocks.
Oh, interesting.
So the trip actually became less about, woeful love stories and more about activity. Hiking, being outdoors, a real contrast to the poem's tone.
But the connection was still there.
Oh, absolutely. The memory of reading Evangeline with her mother, that brought back this feeling of unwavering, sorrowful love. So the literary layer was definitely still present, even if the immediate experience was different.
Layers of meaning. Got it. Okay, from Acadia, Salem, Massachusetts.
Witch trials territory.
Exactly. And she immediately thought of Nathaniel Hawthorne, who kind of famously added the W to his name to distance himself from his ancestor, a judge in the trials.
That connection between his family history and his writing is fascinating. Our listener focused on comparing two characters, Faith, from Young Goodman Brown.
Right, the story where his faith gets really shaken in the forest.
Yeah, her faith seems fragile, maybe corrupted. And then you contrast her with Hester Prynne from The Scarlet Letter.
Hester, who becomes almost a symbol of strength. Able.
Exactly. Our listener really admired Hester's resilience against society's judgment, saw her as a model for women who face misunderstanding. It really points to Hawthorne's own, moral carefulness, using his writing almost as atonement.
A way to deal with the ancestral baggage. Makes sense. Okay, next up, another huge classic, Little Women.
And Orchard House in Concord, the Alcott family home.
Yeah, apparently her friend, who's a second daughter like Jo, really pushed for the visit, especially because of Jo, Louisa May Alcott's alter ego.
It's true. Louisa based the sisters on herself and her own siblings. Jo, tall, thin, and brown, like a colt, full of energy.
So did our listener, being a writer, connect most with Jo?
Surprisingly, no. Even though you'd think so, she actually identified more with Meg, the eldest sister, the, quote, unexceptional one.
Really? Meg?
Yeah. She appreciated Meg's role as this responsible family figure. It just shows you connect with characters in unexpected ways sometimes.
Ah, that's interesting. What about the castle in the air scene, where Jo dreams of being a famous writer, Amy an artist?
Yeah.
That image seems so significant.
Oh, definitely. And it led our listener to think about this quote from Goethe: "Our desires are premonitions of the abilities within us."
Wow, I like that.
Right, it fits perfectly.
Yeah.
The dreams the Alcott sisters had, the ones Louisa wrote down, they actually came true for Louisa through her writing and for her sister May, who became an artist. It's this powerful idea that what you deeply long for might actually show you what you're capable of.
That's a great takeaway. Okay, let's follow the journey onward. She was drawn by the green light.
Ah, The Great Gatsby, F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yep. So off to New Haven, where Nick Carraway went to Yale, and then Long Island.
The quest for Gatsby's world. She visited Sands Point Preserve, saw those huge Gould family estates, Castle Gould, Hempstead House.
Opulent places.
Totally. And then, sort of spontaneously, stopped at Fitzgerald's old house in Great Neck, where he actually wrote Gatsby.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did it feel like Gatsby's world?
She noted this interesting contrast. She'd visited Hemingway's homes, too, and they felt very strong masculinity, was her phrase. But Fitzgerald's place, it had more of a dandy sensibility, refined, maybe a bit more artistic in its style.
Huh. But then came the search for Gatsby's mansion itself, right? The symbol of it all.
Yeah, and anticlimax.
What happened?
She found a construction site.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that led to this big realization about the green light.
That it wasn't real.
Exactly. It was never meant to be a real, tangible thing. It was always an ideal. An idea, a projection of Gatsby's desire, which of course brings you right back to those famous last lines.
So we beat on, boats against the current.
Borne back ceaselessly into the past. Yeah. It perfectly captures that feeling of chasing something elusive, something maybe rooted more in longing than reality.
Wow. Okay, so from those grand elusive dreams, the focus shifts. Back to New York, Greenwich Village, and O. Henry's The Last Leaf.
a story she'd initially dismissed when she was younger, called it overly sentimental.
We've all done that with stories from our youth, right?
Totally. But revisiting it in person was different. She went to Grove Court, the actual place where Sue and John C.'s studio was set, and Pete's Tavern, where O. Henry used to hang out.
Did she feel his presence there?
Apparently. She even ordered an O. Henry burger. The waiter knew the specific ingredients. And learning more about his life, William Sidney Porter, his real name, imprisoned for embezzlement, struggles with alcohol, but then finding huge success in New York, it gave the story context.
So how did seeing the place change her view of the story? What was the humanism she found?
It was a complete turnaround, a re-encounter, she called it. She really saw the profound, great humanism in it, especially Berman's sacrifice, painting that last leaf to save Johnsy, giving her the will to live.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It became this testament to life being precious, worth fighting for. The sentimentality she dismissed before now felt like deep human kindness.
That's a great example of how travel can reframe literature. Okay, next stop. The American South.
A region just steeped in big stories, especially Gone with the Wind.
Margaret Mitchell's epic.
And Mitchell was deeply tied to it. She wrote a lot of it in her Atlanta home. And her own life mirrored Scarlett's in some ways, facing hardship, losing her fiancé, losing her mother.
That fueled Scarlett's determination.
Seems like it. That famous line, "As God is my witness, I'm never going to be hungry again," really struck a chord during the Depression. It was about resilience, recovery.
And the other iconic line, "Tomorrow's another day," pure resilience.
Absolutely. And our listener found that resilience echoed in the South itself, especially in Savannah.
What did she notice there?
Well, the elegant atmosphere, which she connected to Scarlett's mother, Ellen Robillard, and little details like the sea foam blue paint on doors and windows.
Oh, yeah. What's that about?
It's a gula tradition that's the African-American culture in coastal Georgia, and the Carolinas meant to ward off evil spirits.
Fascinating.
And the history there is full of strong women. Mary Telfair, who set up a museum with an all-female board. Eliza Thompson, a widow who built this grand estate. Even Mary Mack's Tea Room.
I've heard of that.
Founded by women who needed work during World War II, but they called it a tea room to sound more genteel, more acceptable back then. Just layers of female strength and ingenuity.
Okay, now for a total shift. Pure fantasy.
Yeah.
Disney World.
In Orlando, yeah.
No.
Our listener wasn't even a big character enthusiast, apparently. It wasn't excited about character food at first, but but then she found herself getting genuinely excited about Mickey Mouse waffle.
Disney magic gets you somehow.
It does. And the big moment was the happily ever after fireworks show over Cinderella Castle. Projection mapping, music, and a real actress flying across the sky as Tinkerbell.
Wow, really? Wow.
Yeah. And it reminded our listener of seeing Peter Pan as a kid, the musical where the audience has to clap to bring Tinkerbell back to life.
I remember that. I do believe in fairies.
Exactly. And in that moment at Disney, watching Tinkerbell fly, she felt what she called 100% pure. Just complete, unadulterated joy.
That's lovely. But she also noted a contrast, didn't she, between that pure fantasy happiness and reality.
Yes, the complicated reality of human relationships. Apparently, there was some unresolved argument she had before the trip, and she realized that even all the Disney magic couldn't just wave a wand and fix that.
So fantasy offers escape, but doesn't solve real-world problems.
Pretty much. That intense, pure joy is wonderful, a reminder of what we seek emotionally, maybe, but it exists separately from the messiness of real-life connections and challenges.
A poignant observation. Okay. Journeying onward back to literature, but a darker kind. New Orleans.
And Faulkner's A Rose for Emily.
A chilling story. Did the city feel right for it?
Absolutely. That mix of Catholicism and voodoo, the whole atmosphere felt perfectly suited to its gothic, slightly eerie vibe.
I mean, she experienced some of that mystical side.
Yeah, she visited the old Ursuline Convent Museum, heard the story about Our Lady of Prompt Succor, a statue believed to have miraculously saved the convent from fire, and later during a battle in 1815. It really emphasizes that deep, spiritual, almost supernatural layer to the city.
Wow. At A Rose for Emily itself? Emily Gerson, isolated by her father, then keeping Homer Barron's body.
It's intense.
Super intense. Our listener's interpretation was striking. She called it love in a jar.
Love in a jar.
Yeah, this desperate, morbid attempt to preserve something lost, to cling to an ideal that's gone, a refusal to let go.
That's a powerful image. But again, beyond the fictional darkness, she noted the resilience of New Orleans women. Like Michaela Almonister. Survived being shot by her father-in-law, came back, built the Pontalba buildings, these incredibly strong female figures rising above adversity, another echo of Southern strength.
Right. Okay, from the Gothic South to the nostalgic Midwest. Hannibal, Missouri.
Mark Twain's town, Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn.
Quintessential Americana. How was the arrival?
Memorable, but maybe not in the best way. She described a dirty local taxi called Huck's Transportation. Oh, the irony. With a grumpy driver she jokingly compared to a Stephen King character.
Oh, dear.
But despite that rough start, the Twain on Main festival was happening, and it was lively. So she got immersed in the town's spirit eventually. Sometimes the journey to the place is part of the adventure, right?
True. And the iconic fence. The whitewashing scene.
Yes. Seeing a representation of it, thinking about Tom Sawyer's genius trick-making work seemed desirable by making it hard to get. It led her back to Twain's own insight. To make a man or a boy covet a thing, it is only necessary to make the thing difficult to attain.
Ah, the psychology of desire. Still true today.
Totally. And it connected to Twain's own life, his humble background. Remember, he wrote, "Everybody was poor but didn't know it, and everybody was comfortable and did know it." His wisdom came from experience. The visit also included Becky Thatcher's house, the Mark Twain Cave.
Where Tom and Becky got lost.
Yeah, and it all looked just like Norman Rockwell's illustrations. Really brought those scenes to life.
So the trip ended with a Mississippi River cruise, reflecting on Twain, the steamboat pilot, his name meaning safe water.
Right, Mark Twain, 2 fathoms depth. And she was thinking about his optimism, his quote about hope. "It is silly not to hope. Besides, I believe it is a sin."
A powerful stance.
Yet, she admitted having this moment of doubt, of defeatism, wondering if struggle is always really necessary.
That internal conflict. What does it tell us?
I think it shows that ongoing tension between the ideals we admire, like Twain's hopefulness, and our own lived struggles. His optimism is inspiring, born from his own life. But her flicker of doubt is so human, right? We all question the need for struggle sometimes. It just shows how Twain's thoughts still provoke that kind of deep, personal reflection today.
Absolutely. Okay, nearing the end of the literary road trip. Ernest Hemingway.
Cuba and Key West, a potent mix. She said she felt dizzy with his presence.
I can imagine. 2 iconic homes.
Yep, think of Vigia in Cuba, lived there with Martha Gellhorn, wrote For Whom the Bell Tolls. And the Key West house shared with Pauline Pfeiffer. She really saw the pattern. New wife, new house, major book.
And the wives' lives deeply impacted the work, didn't they?
Oh, directly. Pauline's really difficult childbirth became Catherine's tragic death in A Farewell to Arms.
Oof.
And Martha Gellhorn, the war correspondent, clearly inspired Maria in For Whom the Bell Tolls, even though Hemingway wasn't exactly supportive, asking her, "You are a war correspondent or my wife."
Yikes. How did our listener reconcile the genius with the difficult man?
It was a struggle. She acknowledged the alpha male appeal, saw it reflected in the homes, the hunting trophies, the animal graves. But specifically in Pauline's Key West home, she felt this profound sadness and despair.
For Pauline.
Yeah. Saw her as this woman sort of left behind by the famous husband. It highlights that difficult thing, appreciating the incredible art while grappling with the messy, sometimes painful, personal life of the artist.
That's a constant tension with figures like Hemingway. And the old man and the sea. Visiting Kojimar, the setting.
That was powerful for her. Thinking about Santiago's eyes, the same color as the sea, cheerful and undefeated. And the sea being described as feminine, la mar.
What did that evoke?
Deep thoughts about aging, about wanting to prove you still exist, you still matter, even when you're older, and the meaning of struggle itself.
Dignity in the fight.
Exactly, that perseverance against the odds. And the complex relationship with the sea, challenging but almost nurturing, too. It's a meditation on finding meaning even in defeat.
Profound stuff. Okay, the final stop, the Caribbean, St. Martin.
Inspired by Agatha Christie. A Caribbean mystery.
Ms. Marple territory. But also, surprisingly, connected to Haruki Murakami.
Yeah, his book, The Faraway Drum, it's about his time living abroad, that feeling of uncertainty in a new place. Our listener felt some pre-trip anxiety that reminded her of Murakami's essays. An odd but personal connection.
So, how was the island experience itself? Exotic.
Definitely sounds like it. Maho Beach, incredibly close. The jet blast experience.
Oh, I've seen videos of that. Looks terrifying.
She reflected on it as that thin line between courage and, well, foolishness, and Orient Beach, the clothing optional one. She wore a rash guard, felt a bit out of place initially because it wasn't the norm there, but eventually people admired her practicality against the sun.
Practicality wins. But there was an encounter with a family.
Yeah, on a snorkeling trip, an
Yeah.
American family. And she got this unexpected feeling, like they pitied her for traveling alone. A moment of empathy, but maybe slightly misplaced.
Interesting. And the trip concluded with taste.
Pretty much. Miss Marple in the Christie book famously disliked the island's fruit. But our listener, she loved the local guava berry rum and the coladas, just fully embrace the unique St. Martin experience, regardless of literary precedent.
So what does that final point tell us?
I think it sums it all up beautifully. Engaging with these literary places isn't about perfectly matching the book. It's about that blend, the story, the place, and your experience, your tastes, your anxieties, your joys. Travel becomes this conversation between the page and the person, and sometimes liking the local rum when Miss Marple didn't is the perfect ending.
What an absolutely incredible journey, spanning continents, centuries, all seen through books and one person's amazing curiosity.
It really shows that books aren't just stories tucked away on shelves, are they? They're maps. Maps for understanding ourselves, understanding the world. This whole deep dive into our listeners' travels proves it. Literature isn't just fiction, it's this powerful affirmation of, well, as she put it, human greatness and kindness and romance.
And maybe the most resonant thought, the one that sticks with me, is that Goethe quote she mentioned. Our desires are premonitions of the abilities within us.
It's a powerful idea, isn't it? So maybe the question for you, our listener, as you reflect on all this, what literary world have you always dreamed of stepping into? And maybe, just maybe, what does that dream, that desire, hint about the abilities lying dormant within you?
Something to definitely mull over until our next deep dive.